One of my favorite things about Chris Bruno is that
This week on my 600-pound life,
when he's really fucked up, all he says is like the most ridiculous and outlandish fucking things you've ever heard in your entire life. And then he goes, do you know what I mean? I have literal pages of notes in my notes app of the most insane things he says. And then he follows it with,
do you know that I'm sitting right next to you?
do you know what I mean?
You're disgusting.
Someday
Someday you'll write a book.
Someday when you guys
And it's
all
going to be
follow
called
us.
Do You Know What I Mean?
When you all follow us on Instagram and TikTok and like whatever, Hot and Bothered the Pod, I'll post screenshots of my notes app where
Please
Chris
don't.
Bruno
I
has
will
like
sue you.
made statements
I will sue you.
while we're blacked out, like the most outlandish things you have
Can you
ever
give me
heard
an
in
example?
your life. No, because they're all on my phone and we're recording on my phone right now. Should I go find them?
No.
They're so good.
You actually have a list of things that I've said?
Yeah, I keep it in my notes app.
I'm very flattered.
The most insane things you've ever heard.
Me?
And he'll be like, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, no, I actually have no fucking
I have
idea what you mean.
no fucking clue about what you're meaning, babe.
No idea what you mean, but sure. Like, yeah, okay, babe. And then he's like literally blacked out and like doesn't know his fucking ass from his head and like fainting on the floor of a warehouse. And you're like, yeah, I know
And
exactly
I'm like,
what
babe,
you
I just hit my
mean.
knees. Do you know what I mean? Like, babe, it happens to all of us. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so here's the thing. We haven't addressed this in an episode yet, but I feel like now is a better time than ever.
Should we do an introduction today or?
Yeah, let's cover this quick. We went out to like a little disco rave situation.
Okay, so now you're putting me on blast because you're mad at me. Okay.
I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
We haven't addressed it and we keep
I
like
fainted. And I almost died. And if you want to make a joke about it.
okay. You were not even concerned and I was very concerned.
I was tired. I took a nap on the dance floor.
We keep referencing it and I feel like the audience deserves to know exactly what we're referencing, and therefore we went to a little disco rave situation and then went to an after party, and Chris was fucked up and fully fainted on the floor of the warehouse. And that's it. He took a little nap.
Do you feel better now that you exposed me?
Yeah.
I died.
It was a traumatizing experience.
I saw the light,
for
and when
me,
my knees hit the dance floor,
let me make this about myself for a moment.
I died, but okay.
Fully panicked and thought that I was literally losing. I'm like
an acquaintance.
I was about to make this really
losing an acquaintance.
I was about to make this really ironically corny and gross, but I realized it wouldn't come off as like ironic, and so I was like, I don't want to go there. So yeah, I thought an acquaintance was dying in front of me, and it turns out that he's still here and very much with us. But anyway, so if you hear us joking about Chris fainting, that's actually what we're referring to. Do you want to elaborate further on that or no?
I was dancing and I got tired. And all of a sudden, my knees hit the floor. And then as they hit the floor, I woke up and Cedar literally grabbed the back of my neck like a fucking...
Like the Hulk.
Like a cat
like
grabbing a
crazy.
kitten. Like grabbed my neck, like the skin of my neck, grabbed me, ripped me up, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, you just fainted. And I was like, I actually didn't even have time to close my eyes because you grabbed my fucking neck. So Cedar saved my life, and I will be eternally grateful for that.
Okay, there was two of us. I can't take full credit. I wouldn't be able to
What
lift
was
your
Joey
dead
doing?
body off of the ground by myself.
375 pounds. But that was adrenaline, babe.
My
you could.
500-pound
Your
life.
acrylics picking up 10,000 tons.
No, both Joey and I grabbed you by the back of
I
your
remember Joey being
jacket.
like, oh my God, this is so traumatic. I remember Joey being like, Chris, wake up. Are you okay? And I literally don't even think I lost consciousness because I like remember everything.
But you didn't.
My knees, I can
remember
finally
it.
walk.
You didn't remember it at the time. You came to and you were like, what happened? Like and we were like, you fainted. You were like, I don't remember that happening. You told us that. You were like, I don't remember that happening.
Well, once the medication wore off, I remembered.
The medication, yeah. So anyway,
The Moonjaro and
Chris's
Adderall.
brother Joey helped me pick Chris up off of the ground, and it was low key, like actually like not even to like be funny. It was actually a little scary because I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to call an ambulance. Like
I don't
fuck.
have health insurance.
Chris doesn't
Ugh.
have health insurance. It's gonna be like really expensive bill for him. No, that actually didn't cross my mind. What crossed my mind was how the fuck am I gonna make a podcast when I don't have a co-host because he's in the morgue?
I'd
No, it was
probably be
very
more
scary.
useful there.
So anyway, like they tell you in school, say no to drugs, kids. Anyway, so it's been 6 minutes and we haven't even done our intro. Hi guys, welcome back to Hot and Bothered. I'm Cedar Champ.
I'm Chris Bruno and I'm alive.
On this podcast, we talk about everything that we find hot as fuck.
And everything that bothers the absolute shit out of us.
Like fainting on the floor of a warehouse.
That doesn't bother
in
me.
downtown LA.
That bothers me, but not fainting on the floor of a warehouse party.
If it were anywhere but DTLA.
Yes, I would be totally fine with it.
Absolutely. Anyway, so
I remember. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, Chris, are you hot or are you bothered this week?
Go fuck yourself. I'm hot this week. You know why I'm hot this week?
Why are you hot this week?
Because I have come to terms with the fact that I will never be emotionally excited about a man ever again. You know when you have that one person that just does it for you?
Oh, bitch.
You have that one person that does it for you.
Oh,
And
bitch.
then everything else just relates back to that one person. And now you have to acclimate to adulthood. Now that you're not a child anymore, falling in love with retards, now you have to be like, okay, this takes time. It's slow. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, is it supposed to grow as you spend time with someone? But for me, I'm like, I don't want to spend time with somebody if I don't have that feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm like, logically, you need to spend time with somebody. So I'm in an interesting place of, do I just continue to date these men that I don't feel initially connected to? Or do I just keep fucking around until someone gives me that feeling?
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's gonna happen again. I think I'm maxed out.
Shall I add my 2 cents?
Of course.
So my sister and I actually have this conversation quite often because she just divorced a full-fledged narcissist. And I just got out of a relationship, it's been like 8 months. I don't know how long it's been. It's been long enough.
No concept of time here.
I just got out of a relationship with a man that may or may not be a narcissist. Don't really know. But the thing was that her and I can relate to each other in the sense that the excitement and the passion that we both felt for these men was beyond anything that we've ever experienced in our entire fucking lives. And so now her and I are both trying to navigate dating again and like wanting that excitement, but also knowing
But
that
like accepting that it's not
probably not going to happen. But then there's also this like weird, confusing question of like, is it even healthy to be able
correct.
to have that excitement in a relationship, but have the relationship be healthy? Like
literally what I was just gonna say. Like I don't think that if you have that feeling for somebody, I don't know if that's enough to like sustain a relationship off of, because there's so many other factors that go into obviously a fucking relationship than just like an emotional connection. But that's what we're after in these relationships, is that feeling. So it's like, if it's not there initially, like, does it develop? Like, I've never been in a relationship where it starts off like, I don't even want to be doing this. Like, I don't feel that way. Like,
Like,
we
no
need
one wants to
we need a
jump
third party to like help us
somebody,
understand this fucking
a
feeling.
literal, we need a therapist to weigh in on this. Like, I don't want a relationship unless it brings me that excitement, right?
Same.
But is that excitement healthy? Probably not.
And I feel like if I were to experience that excitement again, I would be very
Cautious?
pessimistic about the situation. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't trust the situation. I wouldn't trust the person. Like because I'm also like, okay, if someone can make me feel that way, like I don't want them around me because I don't want someone having that much like control over my emotional state.
Yeah.
We're getting deep and we're only 11 minutes in.
I know this is really deep, but at the same time, it's like I don't really want a relationship unless it can bring me like that level of excitement. But I'm so cautious about that because it's like I don't know if it's possible to have that excitement for somebody and have it be healthy. Like, I think that like the psychoanalytic perspective of it is that that excitement is triggered by a certain level of fear or insecurity or manipulation in some capacity.
Or like filling a unhealthy void or just like it's not associated with anything healthy or
Anything good for
sustainable.
you. Right. So
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, so then that raises the question of like, if in order for me to have a healthy relationship, I lack that level of excitement and passion, do I even fucking want it? Like, I genuinely don't think I want it. If I don't feel that excitement, I don't think I want
And
it.
like I know that it's like so cliche and people are going to be like you will find that you will find both of
Oh,
those
shut
things in a
the
partner
fuck
and it's like
up. Shut the
sure
fuck
but
up.
also literally shut the fuck up. It's like
No, but like people say that and they've been married to somebody for like 2 years. Like they haven't even actually like experienced life with another person and
or
they're
they say that
like,
and they've been married to
you'll
that person
find
for 50
it.
years and they literally like lost their virginities to each other and like it's a different fucking world that we're living in.
No, you know what I think about? Like people always say this. We're like, oh, well, my parents or like my grandparents or like whatever. And they always try to use like these old fucking people as like an example of like true
It
love and
was a
like
different fucking
whatever.
time. It's like
Very
apples to
different.
oranges. It's like
Very different.
when my parents fell in love, like there wasn't Hinge, there wasn't Raya, there wasn't Grinder, there wasn't
Yeah.
Tinder. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't millions of fucking people at your fingertips that you could just be like, next.
Not only that, but also when I look back at the relationships my grandparents had, like my grandma was a literal fucking, dare I say it, slave to my grandpa. And she was fine with that because that's all she knew. Like, that's what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to worship your fucking
Oh my
husband,
god, that is like
take
actually
care of
weird
the
to me.
kids. You're supposed to cook all the food. You're supposed to iron the fucking clothes, like, do all this shit, right? And then the people are like, oh, well, my grandparents were married for 50 fucking years and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, your grandma was literally abused. My grandmother was literally abused, like tormented, and
My
she
grandmothers
settled
abused my
for it.
grandfathers.
She settled for it because that's all she fucking knew. And it's like, that is not an example of a relationship that I want. Like, if that is what like a true lifelong love looks like I'm not going to be married for 50 plus years to somebody if that is what it looks like. That's not happening for me. You know, so then it's just like, okay, so now I'm like, okay, do I just come to terms with the fact that like I might die alone? I know I'm young. I might have a marriage here and there. Like maybe I get married once and
Wait,
divorced,
actually, good
married twice.
question. What are your I've never actually thought this about myself, but how many times do you think you're going to get married or do you think that you're going to be married or what do you think that you're married? I know that a lot of people are like, "Oh, like I think that I'm going to be married like at least 2 times or at least 3 times or whatever." Do you have something like that in your head?
I do.
What is it?
I do. And it's very oddly specific because I always say I've probably said this multiple times on this podcast, but I'm drunk and I can't recount them. So, like, you're going to hear it again. I grew up with older sisters and a single mother, and I have lived vicariously through their experiences. And so I
Mm-hmm.
always say, like, I've had not only my own dating experience, which has stemmed many, many years. Like, I started dating a long time ago. But I've also experienced theirs. And I've lived and learned from their experiences and my own. And I do think if I ever get married, I will only be married once, maybe twice. Maybe twice if I'm being pessimistic. Had I not grown up with sisters, I'd say I'd be married 15 times just because of the way that I am and the way that my life has gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be married and divorced 15 times, right? But because I have older sisters, they both have been married and divorced before the age of 30. And I've watched all of that happen. I've watched all of their dating interactions and I've watched
The
their
marriage and watch the
marriages
fall of the
play
marriage.
out.
Yeah.
Not only them, but also my mother and like her relationship with my dad, and then all of the boyfriends she's had
You're like,
after
I only have it in
him.
me once.
Because I've been able to witness all of that, I'm like, bitch, I'm not going through that. I am not going fucking
I
through
can't even
that.
imagine. Yeah.
So I'm like,
One and done.
I
Or
think that
two.
like because of the knowledge I've gained just through watching all of that, I'm like, if God forbid somebody gets me to the point of wanting to commit to the idea of marriage, like you, first of all, have to be a special motherfucker. Second of all, I will have to be very convinced that this is a good idea, you know? So I don't know if I'll get married, but if I do get married, let's give it like one or two marriages for sure. What about you? You're gonna be like so like ghetto and like optimistic and be like, I'm gonna get married once.
No, I'm going to get married once, and I'm probably gonna get divorced, and I don't think I will marry again after that. I think I'll just
That's
be
a good
married
way to
once.
live. Yeah.
I think I'll just get married once.
Wait. I like that. But like the option to get married once, but then get divorced and then not get married
Like
again.
I think I will be married
Yeah.
one time to one person in my life, and I know who it is.
Your
Mhm.
ex-boyfriend. You're disgusting.
I'm gonna marry
Do
him
you think you'll get divorced or no?
probably, but then I think that we're gonna like be that old couple that's like married.
Divorced, but like together
Hmm.
still. Oh, that's good.
I know.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna start crying, so let's change the subject.
Okay. Can I be a
I
threesome in that
I actually
relationship?
don't know. I'm like giving him too much credit and giving him too much control over my emotions.
So true. That is so true.
I'm like, fuck that.
I think that like I actually would be like a good divorcee. Like
You would
that's
be
very much
horrible. You would be the worst. If you would drag this fucking man, you would literally ruin him. You would be horrible. Are,
no, but it would suit me, wouldn't it? Like it would suit me to be like. Can you imagine? Look me in the face and be like, "That is not a divorcee. I'm a divorcee."
you are. That's what you emulate. But you like, what's that like fat blonde girl from Sex and the City? That like, you know what I mean?
Samantha.
Yeah, it's like that energy. You know what I mean?
No, it would suit me. So like maybe I should get married just to get divorced and then like be a like divorcee. That's kind of a sleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah,
Something
so
to
that's where we
consider.
are.
I
Yeah.
want to. You should reconsider your answer, and I'm going to reconsider mine because I don't want to give my ex that much credit.
This has been a really productive
I
conversation.
know.
We're learning a lot about ourselves.
I know.
Oh, okay. So maybe
I want to just get married once, and if it fails, I will be. I won't. I don't want to get married again. I don't even want to get married. I don't want to have kids, and I don't really want to get married.
I don't want to get married and I don't want to have kids, but I think after this conversation, I'm gonna plan to marry at least twice. I'll have a divorce. It suits me to have a
I just want.
divorce.
I want to get married when I'm like 40 or 50.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. I told this man. Let me remind everybody. I'm 25 years old. 25 and a half as of December 21st. 25 and a half years old. I told this man who is 45 years old that like he was like, do you want kids, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was like, not yet, maybe someday, not yet. And then I was like, I'm young, like I don't need to like think about having kids right now. I was
I don't
like,
understand. Like people that want to have kids. Like, and when they talk to me about it, I'm just like, get the fuck away from me.
I know.
I'm like, literally, get the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to you about that. I'm not here to talk about having kids. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting. It just pisses me off.
So I was like, yeah, like I don't want kids. Maybe I'll change my mind as I get older. I'm so young though, still. Like I'm 25 years old.
Yeah.
I'm
Like, it
so
could change. My mind can be changed tomorrow.
I'm an infant. I'm
You're a
practically a
child.
teenager.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about having children. And I literally said, I was like, maybe when I'm like 35, I will be serious about whether or not I want to have kids. But right now, I'm not. And this man looked at me like I was
About to be menopausal next month.
not from this planet, even. Like,
Yeah.
he looked at me like I was literally an alien. Like, actually thought I was insane. He was like 35. And I was like, you're 45 and you want kids and don't have any. Like, why are you looking at me like that?
I know.
Like,
What are you expecting, you fucking freak?
and then it gets worse. He fully tried to convince me that it would be better for me to have a kid right now because my body would bounce back faster and I would be a younger mom. And I was like, okay, so you're suggesting I go get knocked up tonight. Like, you think I should just go? Your advice to me in this very moment, I am 25 years old, fully unemployed, have
Has a
absolutely
job.
nothing going for me. And your advice to me is that I go get knocked up right now. Like,
I
hello?
don't know.
Are we existing? Like, I can't even at this point in my life, I cannot even care for myself. You are suggesting I go get fucking
You
pregnant.
want me to carry a child, give birth to a child, and be responsible for another human being.
That's the worst advice I've ever heard somebody give another person.
I love it. I think that that's genius.
Potentially we'll cut this out, but then also there was a situation in which he came inside of me and I didn't realize that he had came inside of me. And then he later said to me,
Well, were you ovulating?
well, it's a good thing you're on the pill, but had you not been on the pill, it wouldn't really matter anyway because I want a kid. I'm never having sex again. So anyway, no, I won't be actually taking the idea of having children seriously until I'm 35 probably. Like maybe I'll hit like the panic button when I'm like 32 or something. I don't know. But right now at 25, I'm like that's actually the last thing I'm concerned with because I have so many other fucking things. Like I have to get my own car insurance. I have to get my own health insurance. Like I have so many other things to worry about other than raising a motherfucking child. Like,
I just don't. Yeah, we are too young to deal with that.
yeah.
And I love his ambition for wanting a child, but that's just fucking insane to me.
What topic were we on?
Me never finding love again.
Both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister included.
And now you're just getting pregnant.
And now I'm pregnant.
And now you're pregnant. No, but back to the topic of conversation, the whole never falling in love and having that feeling.
It just
again.
like the question, I guess the question of the century is like, is it possible to have that passion and excitement for somebody that you crave in a relationship, but have it also be
You know what I
healthy?
think that we're doing?
What
We're
are we
probably
doing?
thinking about it too much.
We're
we-
self-sabotaging.
We probably know that we secretly want that. So we're like, it's like reverse psychology, reverse manifestation that we're not getting
Yeah.
it. But I don't think that we want it right now either.
I don't want it right now
I don't
because
either.
I have a lot of
I would die if somebody had that emotional control over my mental state right now.
it's actually like wildly
Exhausting and takes up so much energy.
a different direction I was going to go, but yes.
Okay.
It's a comforting feeling
Okay.
knowing that that is not something I'm worried about right now. Like, what is happening
Same.
in front of me and
Same.
in my day-to-day
It's
life is
nice.
fully within my
I love
control.
it too.
It's like it does feel very peaceful.
God, this
But
is a
then there
therapy fucking session
I
tonight,
know.
bitch.
But then there is also like that hopeless romantic inside of me, the like desperate for love
But
side
we
of
don't
me.
want that right now.
No, but that side of me does exist that knows that, like, when I do want a relationship in the future, I don't want it unless I can have that passion and excitement for somebody. But it's not happening for me right now, you know?
I'm completely aligned.
But then that brings me back to my question. I've said this 57 times already tonight. I don't know if that love for somebody that I've had in past relationships, I don't know if that love can exist and have it also be healthy.
I agree. Um, I think I just changed my mind as we were having this conversation, though. Like, honestly, I do feel like when we're open to it, we will be able to receive it in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
but we're just not open to
We're not
receiving it.
open
We
to
just
it.
answered our own question. Like, we don't want that right now. So we're like,
Manifestation, bitch.
yeah, like we're not, we don't want that. I don't want that
Yeah. I have other things to prioritize and focus on right now, and finding love is not one of them.
at all.
Mm-mm.
But it's hard. Okay, so I guess that draws the question of like, how do we navigate just like casually dating then? Because I don't know. Because when you're just like dating, I actually don't give a fuck. I don't
You
want to.
don't care. I'm feeling so casual, and so are you.
No, I know, but I feel like I get wrapped up in these situations where it's like emotions get involved. And I'm like, am I even like, I'm not invested in this person, but like,
It's other people's emotions that are getting involved and not
exactly.
yours.
And like, I feel like being in a relationship with someone, it's like you don't realize how heavy and how much it takes a toll on you, like being responsible for somebody else's feelings. It's
Mm-hmm.
like the biggest like weight you can carry on your fucking shoulders, and you don't realize it until you let it go.
Yeah.
And I cannot do that right now for somebody.
Mm-mm. No.
And I'm hot because of that.
Okay, you're hot because we're emotionally detached. Slay. That's a slay.
But I'm also still in like recovery mode.
No, we're recovering big time. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much recovery to be done. I was literally texting Richie earlier today. Hi, Richie. He's going to shit his pants. He loves it when I talk
He was
about
sending
him.
me dick pics in the sauna today.
He's such a slut. He is such a slut. I was texting Richie earlier today.
Let's call him after this. It's
Absolutely.
like 5 a.m. in New York. He's awake. He's like giving like resuscitation to somebody in the ER.
For context, for anybody that's listening, Richie is my best friend based in New York. We've been friends for a few years and I absolutely adore him. He probably is one of my closest friends next to Chris. And
I don't
he
need
is
that. I don't need that like reassurance. I don't care.
so. No, I wasn't reassuring you. I was just
Okay.
stating a fact.
I'm like,
Your
I'm not like that
your
little
comfort is the
girl.
last thing I'm worried about.
Not on this couch, bitch.
He is psychotic and insane and will likely someday, if he ever comes out to LA, be a guest on this podcast because he's literally so mentally fucking ill and retarded. So anyway, I was texting Richie earlier today. So the album Midnights by Taylor Swift obviously came out last year around the time when I first started dating my most recent ex-boyfriend. And up until this point in my life, I have not been able to bring myself to listen to that album because it's been so like gut wrenching and sad for me to have to like think about the fact that I was listening to this album while I was like so disgustingly like blissfully in love. The song Lavender Haze kill me. I would rather fucking die than listen to that song and think about how in love I was when I was
I
listening
didn't
to
know
that song
any
a
of
year ago.
this. Oh my God.
Horrible, horrifying, so sad and upsetting. I have not been able to listen to that song or to that album for probably like
6 months.
like eight, actually like since the relationship started to go bad, so like 8 months ago. And today a song came on. on like a random shuffle situation on my Spotify, and one of the songs from that album came on, and I was like, I actually fuck with this song, and I like kind of want to listen to it, and I kind of want to listen to like more of songs that are like this. And then I was like, I'm gonna play the album and like see what happens. And like the song Lavender Haze specifically, like I can't, like anytime it comes up, I'm like skip, 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 skip. I cannot fucking listen to that. I will kill myself. And I listened to the album actually all the way through, start to finish, and like it was like a little sad and nostalgic, but like also I was like,
Like, okay, it's just a song.
I'm listening to this album and I'm not driving my car off of the Santa Monica Pier right now on my way to work. This is a huge milestone, like huge. So anyway, I was listening to that album and I immediately was like texting Richie and I was like, I listened to this album and I'm not killing myself. I'm healing. I think I'm healing.
I have 2 points for this.
Okay.
I love that Richie's name is Richie. That's the most iconic thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Richie. Also,
Hi,
like,
Richie.
I'm so stupid. Like, I don't have a song that like I don't, when I listen to songs, like I'm like, they don't like mean anything when I listen to a song. I'm like retarded.
I go through eras and phases with my music. So like if you go to like my liked songs on Spotify
Mm-hmm.
and you go through it in order, if you skip back all the way to like, I can tell you, I did this the other day actually because I was looking for songs to add to a playlist I was making. And if you go back through,
You're like, I know what era I was in.
I know absolutely every single era that any single song played in my life. And there was like, it was like I was listening, it was fine and dandy. And then I got to like the end of my relationship, skipped through all that shit from like the end of the relationship to like the middle to the beginning when things were like perfect and fine, skip past all of that until the era before that relationship started when I was like a normal functioning human being and member of society, and like before I knew that this person existed and like could have been the love of my life. And it's like I can pinpoint, and then even after that I'm like, oh yeah, this was before him, and when I was dating this guy, and when I was dating this guy, and like can literally pinpoint every moment of my life through those songs.
That's so interesting.
Maybe I'll walk you through it later. But yeah, no, it's like the music that I hyperfixate on plays, it's like a direct correlation to like whatever phase I'm going through.
I'm curious to see what mine is like, but it's probably not as
Because I think you're a bit more like curated and specific about the music that you listen to, aka Drake being your number one artist on your Spotify Wrapped.
of course. Who else would it be?
I thought about addressing that this week actually, Spotify
I
Wrapped.
can't even deal with that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care. I'm so fucking over it. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I've had it. No, like I'm fucking done with Spotify Wrapped. And every time I go on fucking Spotify, it's like pops up with like the neon colors. I'm like, I know. We've already gone over this. Thank you.
You're just mad because your Wrapped artist sucked.
No, mine was actually really good, and I did listen to the fucking album that it made me today, and it was really fucking good. But I was annoyed as fuck. I was like, I don't need a reminder every time I open it. Like every time I blink, I see a fucking Spotify Wrapped. I'm like, if you post your Spotify Wrapped, did you?
Of course I did. And I think that people that get bent out of shape about people that post it
But
are losers.
I just think-
losers. Why do you fucking care? Why
I
do you
don't care. I'm like, why do you care? No one gives a fuck what you're listening to.
I do. I think it's fun to see what other people listen to.
I don't pay attention to what
That's-
people are listening to. All I see is neon
But
colors when I'm
that's the
swiping
thing.
through.
That's
I'm
the
not
thing.
reading what I'm not reading it. I don't care.
You
you
don't
listen to
have
Taylor
to
Swift?
pay it. You don't have to pay
I
attention. to what
don't,
people are
and I
listening to.
see
But,
the neon
is it
colors,
gonna
and I
fucking-
don't like
Is
them.
it gonna kill you to have to skip through another story?
Yeah,
Like
it annoys
it's not
me.
the end of the world.
It annoys
You're gonna
me.
be fine. Also, as a, like big of a music junkie as you are, you should be intrigued by by what the people are listening to.
I don't care about what anyone does. I don't care about what any music people listen
You
to.
are a bitter cunt.
I don't care about what TV people watch. I don't care. And if you post that kind of stuff, you have no life and you're looking for some kind of attention or validation. No
No,
one cares.
no.
Yeah, you
For
are.
me, I think it's like it's a form of self-expression.
Yeah, and I
Like,
think
okay,
self-expression is a form
so
of validation
no,
and
no. You know what?
I don't think
I
it's a form of self-expression.
It is. It is. I posted my Spotify Wrapped,
It's like a
and
combination
I
of
am
different
not looking for
things.
you to validate me. I'm telling you this as an example. I posted my Spotify Wrapped because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Because I did
Oh,
actually
well,
think,
yours was like
no, because I did actually think that my selection of music, I actually thought that I had
I did not
much
expect that from you.
more of a like broad spectrum
Yours
of
was literally
artists and genres.
Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus.
My top 5 artists were literally, first of all, obviously, everyone knows my number one, Kim Petras. That's not a secret. But after Kim Petras, did I expect it to be like a little bit more exciting? Absolutely. But no, it was literally Kim Petras, like Taylor Swift, SZA, Miley Cyrus, and then like one other female artist I can't remember off the top of my head, but like all of these like women making like feminist fucking music, and I'm like, slay, like go off girls, like pop off, actually your music fucking slaps. And I don't fucking care that it's like cheesy like pop music or whatever the fucking stereotype is about all these women that are making this fucking music. Like, they slay, their music is fucking good. And I'm like, you know what, do I listen to a lot of other weird shit? I listen to a lot of oldies. I listen to some indie shit. I listen to some weird like artists that like people don't know
I don't even know half
are
the artists that I listen
things.
to.
No, yeah. And like, yeah, I listen to like a lot of weird shit. But you know what I thought was fucking hilarious and cool is because I'm such an obnoxious feminist. And then obviously, all of my artists aligned. And I didn't expect it. But then I was like, this is hilarious and amazing. So I posted my Spotify Wrapped, not because I was looking for validation, but because I was surprised and also thought it was incredible and amazing.
Are you hot or are you bothered this week?
I'm hot because I'm an advocate for Spotify Wrapped.
Thank you guys for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week.
I'm like, can I even address my topic this week? I'm like, I don't.
Stop. We don't have that much trauma about it.
We have 5 minutes left to record, so like,
Fuck
let's do it.
off.
I'm hot this week because I think it's really fucking fun to be left unattended in a rich man's house slash apartment.
Slash apartment.
Yeah, sometimes you never know. I don't know. My ex-boyfriend was like a rich man and he had an apartment because he had commitment issues and couldn't commit to buying a house.
Slay.
Obviously should have been one of my first red flags, but anyway. No, it's just like fun. Like, you know, like you hook up with a new guy and like for whatever reason, if you guys are like seeing each other casually or like whatever, don't ever hook up with a new guy and then like if he has to leave for work in the morning, like don't stay. Don't do that. Don't ever be that person.
Don't ever be that person.
Don't ever be that person.
Don't ever be that
The only
person.
reason you should ever be left unattended in a man's place is if you guys have been seeing each other for a while and or he begs you to stay, which both of those scenarios is like what has happened to me recently. I've been seeing this guy for a while and then like I stayed the night, which we all know I'm not a stay the night girl, but I stayed the night, God forbid. And I was like getting ready to leave the next morning and I like wanted to leave immediately, obviously, as soon as I woke up. But then like things happen and I was like going to leave at the same time he was going to leave to go to work out. And as I was like literally had my bags over my shoulder, had finished drinking my coffee, was like about to head out the door, shoes on, he was like, "You don't need to leave." He's like, "Wait, like, no, can you just like stay? You can just like stay and hang out here." He was like, "When I get back, I'll like make you breakfast. We can have breakfast together. Like, you should just stay." Like, I'm
Like
not
like you felt obligated to stay. Like your
like
life depended on it.
part of me kind of wanted to, but also I was like, okay, like he obviously really wants me to stay, so like maybe I'll stay. Anyway, Point being, those types of circumstances are the only reason you should ever stay. But even then,
But also
you know
like
what?
but also like you're kind of like a very socially aware person. So like
I know when it's time to go.
you know when it's time to go, you know when it's okay to stay, and there's a lot of people who are socially they can't read the room, and it's like obviously we can. So we know when to part ways and when to
So when in doubt, pack your bag and get the fuck out.
yeah, if you are teetering, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Never overstay your welcome.
Ever,
And I will say,
ever.
my mistake, I think my mistake this past time in this situation in which I was left unattended in this man's house, I should have left,
You
actually.
think?
I do, because there is never anything wrong with leaving a
Leaving.
man wanting more.
Nothing.
There's never anything wrong with that. It's like nothing, like it didn't
Like it didn't work against you
it didn't work
staying.
against me at all in the slightest. Like everything is fine and well. Like he left, he came back, we had breakfast together. It was like nice and fine, whatever. And then I went home. But like exactly that, when in doubt, leave. Like there's no reason to stay longer than you need to. Get the fuck
And
out.
also, if you're not comfortable staying, leave.
Yeah.
Like if you don't feel comfortable, not in like a weird, like creepy way, but like again, if you don't know if you should stay or leave, you're probably uncomfortable and you should probably leave.
For sure. And then also let's acknowledge that there's like kind of nothing more attractive than like someone that has things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you never want someone to like come over and then like have so little to do that they just, you already know, that they just stay and hang out. And it's like, don't you have friends or a job or a
Get
life?
the
Go
fuck
home and
out.
clean your apartment and get your own groceries. Like, why are you squatting?
Look busy. If you're not busy, look like you have something to do. Lie. Say you have
Literally.
something to do. Leave.
We've talked about this in a previous episode
Yes, we've talked about
before.
both of these topics.
We have.
Yes.
What was it? Sex with colleagues, I think. I don't know. We've addressed squatters before and we're not going to address it again, but
Look at how white this ankle
don't
is.
overstay your welcome.
Don't.
But that's not the point of this episode. The point of this episode is being left alone in a rich man's home. I keep rhyming today on accident.
Nicki Minaj is back. Slay.
The experience of being left unattended and like getting to play around with the settings on the bidet.
Is
And,
it like a
like-
heated toilet seat when you sit down? Oh my god, those are so
Okay.
fucking good.
The specific place I'm referring to, 3 bathrooms. 2 of them have heated toilet seats. One of them does not, and it's like the bathroom that's like it's a half bath doesn't count really. Anytime I go and sit on it, I'm like it's like a crime against humanity.
Like literally
Like,
you
cannot
have the hair on the back of
believe-
your neck is standing up.
I cannot believe this toilet seat is so cold.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm offended. Like this was offensive.
Imagine actually being like that like person who sits on a heated toilet seat every day and then you like have to take a dump like in a public
I'd kill
place.
myself. I would kill
And then you're
myself.
like, what the fuck is going on?
I would kill myself.
Like I mean, I don't take
So-
shits in public, but if I had a heated toilet seat and I had to take a shit anywhere else, I would just be like, I'm poor.
Maybe today we should be grateful that we don't have heated toilet seats because we do not have to adjust to that luxury.
No,
just
I
to
want a heated toilet
experience
seat.
the shock of the reality of being poor. Anyway, so the heated toilet seats, the bidet, learning the new bidet, and then like sometimes like I haven't done this in a while. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this. Mostly just because I haven't had the opportunity to, but like it's really fun to snoop, not in like a creepy like
You not in like a creepy like what can I get out of this? Just kind of in like a
not even in like a like I'm digging to see what's in like the very bottom of your underwear drawer, but
Yeah.
in like a I'm just like perusing through the entryway and what's in your junk drawer. You know, like what are
Yeah.
you keeping in this little like catch-all dish? Like just
Ooh.
like
What
peeking
did you
around
find?
those kinds of things. I didn't.
Uh-huh.
I didn't.
Oh.
It's been a while since I've had the
Mm-hmm.
ability to explore those kinds of things with men because I don't have any men on the roster. As we all know, I'm like celibate essentially, accidentally. But with my most recent slumber party that I've had, I've just remembered the excitement of it all. And like, you know, as I mentioned earlier, the bidet and like getting to like sit down in the toilet knowing there's no one else in the house
And you
that
can
can
just
hear
experience
the
it.
noises of the bidet because there's always that like weird paranoia of like, can they hear what buttons I'm pushing?
Mm-hmm.
So you sit down and you're like, okay, I'm going to test this one out.
We need to have an episode on how we operate in bathrooms and like what our paranoias are and what sounds we think people can hear are and what the sounds of everything are.
I would love to talk about that further in depth someday.
One
So
day.
today, let's just talk about the nuances of exploring a new bidet. So, where are we spraying? What are we spraying? What is the water temperature? What is the water pressure? How are the dryer settings working? And are they actually like spraying and drying the things that I, as a woman, need them to spray and dry? And in this bathroom specifically, you walk in, you go to throw something in the trash can. By nearing the trash can, you set off the
And the
motion
toilet greets
detector
you.
of the toilet. Not only does the top lid come up, but the full toilet seat comes up, assuming I'm a man and I'm going to piss with the toilet seat up, which I think is disrespectful and also
I wonder if there's a setting.
sexist.
Yeah.
And yeah,
But
it has to be a
honestly,
setting.
maybe it's like actually I don't know. Maybe it's like the toilet's so nice that like it knows that like you don't need the
I'm a
other one to
man.
piss on. Like the bigger one, but it's like I guess it's just where you sit, so everyone needs that.
I need that as a woman. Women need that. So it's a
Well, I
gender
sit down to
thing.
pee half the time, so I need it too.
So yeah.
I
So
love sitting down to
not only
pee.
is this toilet sexist, but it's also homophobic.
And I love it.
Um so there's just a lot of variables to consider there, but so anyway, my first time experiencing this toilet, I was absolutely hammered and paranoid that the man in the other room could hear what was happening between me and this toilet. So I didn't really get the opportunity to explore. So the freedom to be alone in this house and get to push all the buttons and get to say, oh, that's not spraying the right place, or that is spraying the right place, or this water pressure is
Mm-hmm.
high quality, so on and so forth. It's a really freeing experience. And I just think that being left unattended in a rich man's house is one of, if not my favorite parts of being a single woman.
I have something to contribute to that conversation.
Please contribute.
So I have sat on a lot of nice toilets in my life, and something that I've never. Why are you laughing?
I'm just like,
I'm talking like I'm like
this conversation in our podcast.
in a
And like, did
courthouse.
I think when we were starting this podcast
I'm
that
like I've sat on a lot of
so
nice toilets in my life.
so I have sat on a lot of nice toilets.
I'm drunk too, so shut up.
Let's finish this episode
But
so we
I've
can keep
never
drinking.
clicked like the front wash. And I'm like, what is it gonna hit my balls? I'm afraid of it. So I always just do the back one that goes on my ball. But I've never done like it's like rear cleansing and then it's like front cleansing. And I've
No,
never
so the
clicked on
one
front cleansing.
so the one I was in the other day was like rear cleansing, but then there was one that was like straight up. but there wasn't a one that was a
You know what
front.
I don't understand about these? Because I've thought about it so many times. It's like, where the fuck does it all go when you stand up? There's like a wizard that pops out. Like, where is that thing?
No, but then not only that, they're spraying you from multiple different angles, right? But then there's also the dryer setting. And like, she's not quiet. Like, she's not keeping
No,
anybody's
that's a Con
secrets.
Air
She has
full.
a loud mouth.
Uh-uh.
She's telling everyone you're drying your labia. And then not only is she shouting it across the fucking, what is the phrase? Across the rooftops. I don't know what they say. She's shouting it to the village. I don't know. That you're drying your shit.
And she's
Not
not doing her job.
not only that, but she doesn't do her job.
No.
I stand up and
And it's dripping
there's
down your
still
leg.
moisture everywhere. And then like the
You
only
still need to use toilet paper, babe.
yeah, and I would love to, except for this man thinks a bidet suffices and he doesn't keep toilet paper in this bathroom because there's a bidet.
We're going to end it on that note.
I think it's time to wrap it up because that
We're not going back to episode
upsets me to
1.
think about. No, the paper towel. Okay. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely week ahead of you.
Don't
Happy
share your
fucking
Spotify
Tuesday.
raps ever again.
I think you should.
Don't.
And if Taylor Swift is in your top 5, send me a message and block Chris because he's a cunt.
Go wash your ass. And dry it and then wipe because you're going to need it, babe.
Use a bidet and don't fall in love.
You won't be able to fall in love. Love you.
After you use a bidet. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Mwah.